What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to do a Raw recap. We started off with the Memorial Day video package. Back in the Performance Center, the NXT trainees are now going to be our crowd. I should say crowd. I'll get more into that part later. They're all 6 feet apart from each other and blocked off by plexiglass. And we start off with the KO show. Kevin Owens says he's going to be facing Angel Garza later. He talks about the women's triple threat match for the #1 contender for the women's Raw title. He introduces Asuka. She comes out, she's chanting Becky, and we're reminded once again that Becky Lynch is pregnant. We then have a recap of last week when Nia Jax was wreaking havoc with Asuka and Kairi Sane. Asuka sounds really upset about this. Charlotte Flair comes out. She says the championship should have been handed to her. Tells Asuka to manage her expectations. And of course, wouldn't be a show without having Nia Jax coming out to just bring everybody to fucking together. She says, "Can we stop? Yes, please. Can we just stop this bullshit?" Kevin Owens steps out of the ring. Nia Jax says she's gonna bulldoze Asuka. Then a big fight breaks out, cause why not? And Asuka ends up standing tall through all of this. Alright, just fucking waste of time. We then go on to our first match, Andrade versus Apollo Crews for the United States title. Zelina Vega is at ringside. This match had a lot of action to it. At one point, Zelina Vega gets on the apron, trying to distract Apollo, but Zelina still ended up getting knocked off a second later by Andrade, who all of a sudden now she needs all these people looking after her because she got hurt, I guess. I don't know. She looked fine. She ended up being fine later on. Like I said, there was a lot of action in this match. I really liked it. It was a good match. Apollo Crews did a military press on Andrade, followed by a moonsault, shooting star press, gets the pin, and is now the new United States champion. This is the first title that Apollo Crews has held, so awesome. Good on him. Good. Awesome. Good match. After the match, Apollo got his feel-good interview, and backstage, Andrade throws a fit, chucking everything around, pulling a Lana. It's after this, it's announced that the Street Profits and Viking Raiders are going to be playing golf today. What the fuck? Oh my fucking god. To quote Mark Twain, golf is a walk wasted, just like this segment's going to end up being. Backstage, Seth Rollins says it's time to celebrate because of Rey Mysterio. We have a recap of 2 weeks ago where Mysterio ended up getting his eye gouged out. Rollins introduces his new disciple, Austin Theory. Both Murphy and Theory thank Seth Rollins for bringing them into the fold. I swear, the Monday Night Messiah stable just is a rotating door. It's like just people come in and come out. But alright, cool. We'll see how this goes. Then we got the Iconics coming out. They apologize to each other for what happened last week. They say they should be women's tag team champions. Then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross come out. Bliss says that you blew it. Nikki Cross goes straight off of the Australian Bella Twins. The Iconics attack Cross and Bliss and end up standing tall holding the belts. Backstage, Lana stares down a hole in MVP. She says, "We need to talk." MVP says, "No, we don't." We then have another memorial segment for Shad Gaspard. Back in the ring, we have the VIP lounge. MVP introduces the soon-to-be former WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. He comes out. He starts flipping over the futons. McIntyre says, "Where's Lashley?" MVP says, "We're waiting on any type of contact until Backlash." Yeah, right. After some bit of talk, Bobby Lashley starts walking out. MVP ends up eating a Claymore kick. McIntyre is daring Lashley to get into the ring. Lashley carries MVP up the ramp as Drew McIntyre stands tall in the ring. We start setting up for our next match. Kevin Owens is walking down the ramp. Angel Garza comes running down and chop blocks Kevin Owens' knee, which is our next match, Kevin Owens versus Angel Garza, Zelina Vega at ringside. Garza is working on Owens' knee. Owens does try to fight back, but unable to get that to work out. Angel Garza hits the wing clipper and gets the pin on Owens. That was actually a shock. We then go to the golf game with the Viking Raiders and Street Profits. Fuck it, I'm done. See you later. Bye. We then go on to our next match, Austin Theory and Murphy versus Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo. This was a really fast-paced, good match. I liked it. There were a couple of miscommunications between Murphy and Theory, but they were able to pull together. Theory hit the ATL on Humberto Carrillo and got the pin. After the match, Rollins, Theory, and Murphy start beating down on Carrillo and Black. Aleister Black grabs a chair, and Rollins threatens to take out Humberto Carrillo's eye a la Rey Mysterio. It's later announced that next week we're going to have Aleister Black versus Seth Rollins. That looks like it could be a pretty good match. Backstage, we have Edge cutting a promo saying that he can hang with the best of them in regard to his match at Backlash. I will get more onto that later. Then we got the triple threat match, Natalya versus Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair for the #1 contender to the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka is sitting at the commentary table. Surprisingly, this was a decent match. Natalya and Flair were working together to take out Nia Jax. There were a ton of near falls, some close calls. Nia Jax hit the Samoa drop on Natalya, got the pin. So Nia Jax will be facing Asuka at Backlash. Then we got a recap of WrestleMania 36, where Gronk won the 24/7 title. Then we cut to a video clip where R-Truth says that he vows to get his title back from Ron Gronkowski. Then in the gym, Gronkowski says he'll be ready for R-Truth. It's also announced that next week, Rey Mysterio is supposed to be retiring. Somehow, I really don't think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be some shenanigans and all that shit with Seth Rollins and all of them, and he's not going to retire, and it's going to end up being a match at Backlash. Then we got a Skype call with Ric Flair. He weighs in on the Edge-Randy Orton match at Backlash. Ric Flair is going to be picking Randy Orton to win, and they're billing this to be the greatest wrestling match ever. They are putting a lot of hype on this match. I hope to God that they deliver on it, because if this match falls short, and I hope it's a good match, but if this match falls short, WWE is going to catch so much shit on this. Then we got a Liv Morgan promo. She says she's living her best life. Awesome. Cool. Next. We then go to our main event, the Street Profits versus MVP and Bobby Lashley. This was a decent match. Ford tries to outspeed Lashley, but ends up failing. It's the usual match. Ford gets worked over. He gets the hot tag in on Dawkins. Ford was able to hit the cash out on MVP. Bobby Lashley comes running into the ring, puts Ford into the full Nelson. After the referee's warning, he disqualifies Ford and Lashley. Drew McIntyre then comes out. He starts beating down on Lashley. There's a big brawl out by the glass. The fight goes back into the ring. The referee calls for some help. The NXT trainees come running in. Drew McIntyre lays him out. Ends up eating a spear by Lashley. He starts beating down on McIntyre. Referee calls for some more help. They come out to be sacrificed. Then a whole big bit of beef comes running out, splits the two of them apart. They're screaming at each other as we end tonight's Raw. Tonight's Raw was actually pretty good. The matches were good. Some of the other segments were, the usual, they sucked. But I did like the matches. I don't think there was really a bad match tonight, which is surprising. We better go play our numbers then. My only big draw on this, and I said we need a crowd at the shows, and when by crowd I mean a live audience. And I know we can't do that with all the panic scare and virus thing going on, but we need a crowd. This crowd that we had today was basically just paid people coming in to go cheer. There were some segments where they cut to them and they weren't 6 feet away from each other. The whole plexiglass thing around the ring makes the ring look like a hockey rink. This is wrestling, not hockey. I'm not watching the NHL. So, good attempt. It did seem to liven up the show a little bit, but a paying crowd in a live event is not going to be biased, or I'm not sure if biased is the word. They're going to like who they like, but to have maybe 30, 40 people standing around ringside just going, whoa, 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 just because they're fucking paid to do that isn't a fucking crowd. So for that part there, I gotta give a downside to. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Raw Recap. I'll be back later this week with the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.